Boxing Day is a fantastic time of the year. It only happens once a year, of course. Spending it with friends, family, food, drink. I was trying to find Crewe a new left back though. This is one transfer every League One club needs to make this January. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. This is one transfer that every League One club needs to make in this January window. That was a slight joke at the start of the episode, but I'm going to be honest, it did take a while. It wasn't easy trying to find 24 players to join these 24 clubs in League One. However, I think I've done it. I've been scrolling through articles, scrolling through the data, through the stats, looking at positions that your club needs to look at. Of course, you know your team better than I do, so you'll know which positions need to be resolved, the priorities of those positions, or whether or not these players will help your club for the second half of the season. Of course, this January window is a very, very difficult month to get your business done. Both teams using the window in different ways, lots of different ways of actually making the most of this winter window. But yeah, please, if you haven't subscribed already, you're on the road to 600 subscribers. Please show your support. This did take a while, and if you want to see more of this content, this is the place to find it here on the Young Fan Podcast. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. Please be part of that journey. Hit that red button, and also in the comments down below, I need your help. I need to know your best player so far this season from your club. I need to use this for a video, and yeah, I'll be shouting out your suggestions. You'll get a shout out as well. So in the comments down below, your team's best player so far this season, as well as also giving your thoughts on these transfers that I've highlighted for your club. Thank you very much for the continued support. I absolutely love every single one of you. Let's get straight into it. So, starting off then with Lincoln City, and I've gone with Morgan Whittaker from Swansea. That would be a loan signing. He's a right winger, and according to BBC Radio Lincolnshire, a loan player has already been guaranteed on January the 2nd. Now, we don't know whether or not Morgan Whittaker is that player, but he's been on the Lincoln radar for a while. He went to Swansea in the summer. He hasn't had much game time in the Championship. However, in the Carabao Cup this season, he's got 3 goals in 3 games. And Michael Appleton and Lincoln, they need to bring some players in. They're only 2 points away from the relegation zone. They're not in great form, and this window really could save their season as they look to push back up that table. The deal does make sense for multiple parties. It makes sense for the player as it helps his development. Lincoln City, of course, getting a really good player on loan, and Swansea, he's not getting the game time. Swansea are now out of the Carabao Cup, so it makes sense now to give him that game time if they're not going to give him that game time in the Championship. It really would be a good signing, I believe that, for Lincoln City. So I've gone with Morgan Whittaker of Swansea to bring him on loan to Lincoln in January. So next, then I've gone for my club, Oxford United. And now, James Norwood's the player I've gone with. Of course, a striker, and it will be a loan signing, we believe, from Ipswich Town. Now, this signing looked absolutely nailed on before the sacking, of course, of Paul Cook 2 weeks ago. But after being given an opportunity to impress the new manager, Kieran McKenna, that signing now looks a little bit less likely. It would definitely provide the much-needed competition, and we're looking at the positions that Oxford United need to bring in. Striker is the one that really stands out. It's a position that, other than Matty Taylor, we're really lacking in depth. And this player, James Norwood, really would offer that sort of depth and quality in depth, most importantly, that Oxford United are looking for. However, like I said, he's been given game time recently after the appointment of Kieran McKenna. And obviously, when the caretaker manager came in, he's actually started him in those games in a 2-striker formation with him and Bon. And he's scoring goals, which makes it quite unlikely now that he's going to look for a move away. Now, maybe Kieran McKenna may not fancy James Norwood, and we could still see the move. However, Carl Robinson has said this is the sort of calibre of player that he wants to see joining Oxford United in January. I don't know whether it is likely, much less likely than it was 2 weeks ago, but still the signing, I think, Oxford United, and I would like Oxford United to make in January. I've gone with James Norwood, a loan deal from Ipswich to Oxford. Next, and we've gone with Portsmouth, and I've gone with Hayden Roberts, and that'll be a loan deal from Brighton. It's no secret that Portsmouth are looking for a centre-back. They've been stretched, or squad-stretched, when it comes to the defensive area, and they really need to bring some players in. It's also, no surprise, they've got one real target from Cheltenham, and that's the captain, Will Boyle. However, we believe that Portsmouth don't actually have that financial strength at the moment to bring Will Boyle in. Now, we believe, I think he's out of contract, Will Boyle, at the end of the season. So I can see a loan deal happen here. I don't think Portsmouth are going to bring in Will Boyle. They don't actually have the finances, we believe, to be able to complete that deal. I think Hayden Roberts on loan from Brighton would make sense. He's really quite linked with a move to Fratton Park. He's a young centre-back. I think it'd be a great January signing. He's been around Graham Potter's first team squad since the start of the season, but he's struggling to break into the first team. You can see why. It's no real surprise at the age of 19. His versatility is also a massive bonus for Danny Cowley and that squad, because obviously, we mentioned earlier, the defensive options at the moment are being slightly stretched. Hayden Roberts can also play at left-back as well as centre-back. He's preferred to play as a left centre-back and a left-back. That's really, really good versatility and a great player to have in the squad. So I've gone with Hayden Roberts on loan from Brighton to Portsmouth in January. Next then, we've got Sheffield Wednesday, and I've gone with a player that I know quite a lot about. He's a player that was at Oxford United for a long time, Josh Ruffels. It's crazy to think about me linking in a player that was a bit of a legend at Oxford, and he of course was one of the most respected players I think Oxford United have had for a long time. He's a left back that moved to Huddersfield in the summer. He didn't sign a new contract at Oxford, then signed for the Terriers on a free transfer, and he's already been linked back to League One, it looks like, because he's only played 6 minutes of Championship football. Last season, he scored 6 goals and 6 assists. He created 5 big chances in League One. He was a pivotal player that guided Oxford United to the playoff semi-final. Of course, he didn't sign that new contract and moved to the Championship, hoping to play, of course, at that higher level. It now looks like that's not going to be the case at the moment. He had COVID, I believe, at the start of the season, struggled to break into the first team. This could be a difficult deal to complete. It's going to be quite a persuasive negotiation from a Sheffield Wednesday point of view, but if he does join Hillsborough in January, they're looking at a left back. Darren Moore has already said they're looking to bring in some defensive reinforcements. I think this really would be a fascinating and brilliant signing. I want to go Josh Ruffels, the left back from Huddersfield to Sheffield Wednesday in January. Next, Doncaster. Gone with a different one here. I've gone with a manager. Okay, let's not talk about players yet. Let's talk about managers. Now, I've looked at a few of the links. Paul Cook, I think, is linked, and he would be a really, really exciting appointment, in my opinion, after, of course, being recently sacked by Ipswich. Also, another League One manager that's been recently sacked, linked with a Doncaster job. Nigel Atkins, of course, been dismissed by Charlton a few weeks ago. He's already been linked with the Doncaster job. Now, will both of those managers want to get straight back into the dugout, especially a dugout? They're currently sat in 23rd in League One, really struggling. Now, they do need to bring some players in January, but they need to get a manager in first, because whose job is the recruitment when there is no manager? It looks like at the moment, the current caretaker manager, Gary McSheffrey, is going to be the manager that's appointed on a permanent basis. He is the most popular and most likely appointment. But before bringing in those winter signings, that manager has to be put into place. Now, of course, there are some key areas that do need to be resolved in the window after the manager has been appointed. They do need some attacking flair. They do need some goals. They've got the lowest XG in the league. That's the lowest expected goals in the league. They're averaging 0.8 big chances per game. That's not even one big chance a game. They really are struggling to create chances. They're not looking great defensively either. There's a lot of areas to resolve, but that manager really needs to be looked at. So actually, I've gone with a manager as a player that's going to be signed in January. It's not a player. They do need to get someone to know in that dugout this month. So next then we've gone with Gillingham, and I've gone with somebody that has a cracking name, and I believe it's Ajibola-Joshua Alesa, or Alesa, on loan from West Ham. They need defensive reinforcements, Gillingham. They've got the most number of shots against. They've got the second highest XG for goals against as well, which is a real concern. But this loan signing would be very, very impressive and would really help them solve those defensive issues. Like I said there, they really are struggling in the defensive department. Some stats there really showing they need to get some reinforcements in that defensive third. He made his first West Ham start recently against Dynamo in the Europa League. So he's played at a pretty high level already. Yes, but only for one game, but still very, very impressive for a young lad. He's also captained the Under-21 side in the Football League Trophy with a very, very impressive average rating of 7.1. Also in the competition, he's currently averaging conceding 5.7 clearances per game and 2 key tackles per game as well. Of course, he's probably not going to get into the first team at West Ham just yet, but a loan move would make sense. We think that West Ham are willing to send some of these youngsters out on loan to get some quality and much needed regular first team football. Gillingham are looking at bringing in a loan player and especially defensive reinforcements. I think this would be a good player for them. I've gone with Ajibola-Joshua Alesa, loan from West Ham for Gillingham. Next then we've got Fleetwood, and there's not many rumours at all with Fleetwood. They've of course got a new head coach, not a manager, which does suggest to me that we don't know how much control he's going to have when it comes to the recruitment side of the football club. But not looking to pay any fees for players, again, made this a little bit more difficult to look at players. However, Callum Johnson is a left-back, is heavily linked for a permanent move from Portsmouth. He has 3 goals in 14 starts so far this season. He's got 70% pass accuracy from fullback and 2.1 key clearances per game. He's been fairly impressive so far on loan from Portsmouth. Portsmouth are also looking to offload some players on a permanent basis to free up that wage budget to look to improve their squad. He's not good enough, they believe, for Portsmouth, Callum Johnson. I think for Fleetwood it makes sense. It's not the most exciting one. It's not the most glamorous one I could find, but it's certainly somebody I think that would come in and who's done well so far this season, make that a permanent move. I've gone with Callum Johnson making his loan permanent in January. Next then we've gone with Crewe, and again this one was quite difficult to find, but I actually found a really interesting article linking them to Joel Valencia, and I did a bit of research with it, and I thought, is this the right signing? Is this the one transfer that this League One club needs to make in January? I think it is. It'll be a loan signing from Brentford. He's a left winger, and this was a player that Crewe were heavily linked with and really kept a good eye on in the summer, but he was unable to get that deal over the line after losing the attacking talent of Charlie Kirk to Charlton in the summer. They never really replaced that real flair and that real winger flair that we saw from Charlie Kirk last season. He's got a lot of goals for them. He's a real talisman as well as a real creative spark in that Crewe side. Of course, he got them promoted from League 2 into League 1, had a fantastic League 1 debut season, earned that move to Charlton. They never really replaced him. At the prime age of 27, Joel Valencia is keen to get a move to get that first team football again. They need some attacking midfield winger reinforcements. They have the 4th worst XG in the league and are only creating 1.1 big chance per game. Only scoring 19 goals this season is a real concern for Crewe. They need a winger that's also going to create things and also score things. According to reports, Valencia was keen to make this deal happen in the summer, but it never crossed the line. I think this deal would be really good to go and revisit now in January. I'm going to go with Joel Valencia. It'll be a loan signing from Brentford. I like the look of that one. That's who I've highlighted for Crewe there. Next, then we've got Rotherham, and looking at the stats, there's not many areas to look at with Rotherham. I believe they're highest on XG. They're really quite up there with the highest goals as well. But many reports suggest they were interested in the Sporting, is it Jeando striker Jaros Dejulovic. There we go. That is a pretty good name, and I can't pronounce a lot of names. This one I'm really struggling with. The club and the player I simply cannot pronounce. However, I know enough about him. 22 goals in the Liga 2 last season. He's already got 7 goals in 18 this season. He is scoring goals. That's not because they need to score more goals. Like I said, they've got the highest XG. They're up there with goals. There's not many areas to look at. But I look at this, and I'm looking at someone that they're really quite heavily linked with. I think their signing is really quite good. At 27 years old, you're going to play it in their prime, who also, I think, has that ability to make that step up into the Championship. You've also got to look at players as well that are going to join the football club and look at the aspirations for the football club they could be going to. Rotherham have real good aspirations and really got those sort of intentions to get back into the Championship. Can the players they bring in January make that step up? I think this man can. So I've highlighted Jaros from the Liga 2 side, Sporting Jeando. I think I'm going to go there, and that's how I've highlighted there for Rotherham. For Plymouth, there's not the most glamorous signing and exciting rumours going off at the moment. Of course, they've just had their manager Lowe go to Preston North End, and Stephen Schumacher has been coming in, who's his assistant at Bury and also Plymouth, now been appointed as the first team manager. So looking at signings and potential signings was a little bit of a difficult one to look at, because at the moment it's been quite heavily based on trying to get a manager in. However, someone that does make sense, like I said, it's not the most glamorous signing, but someone I saw at first, I thought, I can't put that in, and I thought, this makes sense. He's He's a 35-year-old defender. Okay, which again doesn't sound too exciting. He's from Bristol Rovers. He's defender Mark Hughes, who would join as a player coach and add that much needed experience to Steven Schumacher's backroom staff. Of course, they've lost Lowe, and now obviously Schumacher's come in and become that permanent manager. They need to bring also that backroom staff in, and it's not, like I said, the most exciting signing. However, this makes sense for Plymouth. This makes sense. A sort of player that would come in and really, really help the side out, not just on the field, but also off the field, also on the training ground. It makes sense. He's got experience. He's made 582 appearances in the Football League. He knows the league very, very well. He knows a sort of, he can bring that experience to the young players as well, developing those young players. He can also then go and do his coaching badge as well and prove to be a fantastic coach. This makes sense. Again, it's a little bit, it's not the glamorous one, but it really, really will help the club reinforce that new backroom staff after the departure of a very, very popular manager. So, like I said, Mark Hughes, the player I've gone with there. I apologise, I couldn't find any more exciting ones, but that's what we've gone with. Mark Hughes from Bristol Rovers. It makes sense, and I think it'd be a really, really good signing for them. For Bolton Wanderers, and I've gone with someone that to actually have a look at. Salab Watts. You're probably thinking, what on earth are you talking about? Oh, that was awful. Centre midfielder and centre attacking midfielder. He's a loan from Southampton. Ian Everett has admitted that he needs to use that loan market to, of course, replace Somerset, who left for Southport County. A bit of a bust-up, it sounds like there. And he, of course, left the club. And also Josh Sheehan, who's out until, unfortunately, the end of the season with that injury. The creativity and the midfield options are lacking now. And they need to be dipping in that market to try and resolve those issues. A player that's just left the club and also going to be out till the end of the season. Unfortunately, they're slowly declining down that League One table. They need to have a good January transfer window, bring a good player in to get them back up the table. In the Football League Trophy, he's got an average rating of 7, this Salab Watts, on loan from, it will be a loan deal if it happens, from Southampton, with an assist to his name. Southampton are looking to send a few of their youngsters out on loan in January. So this could be a really possible option. Hasselhout, of course, is the manager at Southampton. He said that this season could be a little more difficult to give the opportunities to these young players because, of course, their squad now, they had a lot of injuries last season. That squad now is sort of coming back to full fitness, so there's less opportunities for these young players. To get a player to go out on loan to this side, I think would be really, really good. And Bolton as well is quite an attractive prospect for a young player to go on loan to really help their development. I think Salab Watts would be a really, really good loan signing from Southampton. That's the player I've highlighted there for Bolton Wanderers. So next I've gone with Sunderland. I've gone with Trai Hume. He's a right back from Linfield, and there's some significant reports that this Johnson, of course, the Sunderland manager, is looking to reinforce his options at fullback. He's looking to bring a few fullbacks into the club, or at least one fullback into the club in January. And Hume is the man that he's really, really looking at. Now Sunderland are linked to a lot of players, but Trai Hume looks to be a really, really interesting one. I did a bit of digging on him. He looks really, really quite exciting. Ipswich, Burnley, of course, Premier League, Burnley and Lincoln are all linked to the 19-year-old who's tipped to have a very, very exciting career ahead of him. He's doing very, very well at the age of 19 already, of course, in Northern Ireland, in Linfield. And I'm really, really quite impressed with what he's doing. He can play also as a centre-back, hopefully adding versatility to the Sunderland squad. With defender Flanagan linked with a move to the Championship, bringing that defensive cover in really would make sense. Of course, Flanagan has been linked to a few Championship moves. This signing would be really, really good. It'd help them out at the centre-back, also help them out at full-back. He's a young player that they can grow and also hopefully have a really exciting future ahead of him. He's got that real potential as well. I like the look of this one. Trai Hume from Linfield. Next, then we've gone with Ipswich Town. Again, similar to Fleetwood, really. The rumours have been a little bit quieter because, of course, the manager's just been appointed. So they're now looking at the signings because, of course, the manager will have different looks and different avenues to take. Now he's, of course, being appointed as the manager. Similar to Plymouth as well. Of course, they just had the manager come in. Now, which direction are they going in? Kieran McKenna, of course, ex-Manchester United coach that worked under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And before that, Jose Mourinho has just been appointed as their manager at Ipswich Town. And I've highlighted actually a Manchester United player to bring on loan. I've gone with Shola Shoretire. He's a loan with a new appointment of Kieran McKenna. This one makes a little bit of sense. Of course, he's a young, exciting manager that's now going to Ipswich. they're believed to be a really good relationship still with Manchester United and McKenna. There seems to be that trust that to allow them to have some of their young players come in on a loan basis, help them develop those players, because of course Manchester United need to be very, very careful where they send these young players out on loan, and you feel now this would make a little bit of sense. We believe that Kieran McKenna worked with Shola Shoretire at youth level, of course was with around the first team Shoretire last season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave him his first senior debut for the club with last year, and of course Kieran McKenna was there as a coach. We clearly worked with Shoretire before. I think this signing would make sense. He's a loan signing. It'd be a great player to bring in. An attacking midfielder, also can play as a winger. I like the look of this signing. Of course, Shoretire at the moment is around that first team squad, but with those summer signings of Ronaldo, Sancho, was also the fantastic squad depth that United have already got with the Lingards, with the Matters, with the Martials, the list goes on. They've got a lot of fantastic players at that club. Shoretire is probably a little bit lower on that pecking order. Maybe a loan move could be a sensible option. It's going to be limited, really, that first team football at the moment. I think this would be a great signing for the player, but also the club. I'm going to go with Shola Shoretire, a loan deal from United to Ipswich Town. Next, and we're going with Burton Albion, Dan Crowley. And this will be a free transfer if he doesn't get his extended contract at Cheltenham. Now, Dan Crowley currently is at Cheltenham, but his contract expires in the January. Of course, they signed, he's part of the whole squad that won the League One season, last year, of course. And then that was when he was on loan from Birmingham. He had an average loan spell there with 22 appearances. He failed to earn a permanent move to Hull, and he became a free agent. Now, Cheltenham looked at that and thought this would be a really good player to bring into the squad. They only gave him a contract, though, until January, which was about a 6-month contract there or thereabouts. And he's really, really impressed this season. And now they find themselves, Cheltenham, scrambling to extend that contract. They didn't want to risk a long and sort of term contract on him with a year. They've gone with a 6-month contract. They now find themselves really, really hoping to persuade the player to sign on until the end of the season, or maybe even a longer term contract. He's created 5 big chances already this season from midfield, while averaging an 89% pass accuracy. His great technical ability would improve the creativity in this Burton side, somewhere there where Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has really highlighted it, somewhere that he wants to improve. This signing makes sense. I like the look of this signing. It's not going to be easy, though, because they've got to hope that Cheltenham don't extend that contract. But if they don't, and he doesn't agree with terms there, Burton could really snap up a player here. Dan Cry looks to be a really, really good player. So next then we've got Shrewsbury Town. I've gone with a loan signing, Elliot Henderson. It'll be a loan from Newcastle United. There's no real reports or rumours surrounding this player, or even Shrewsbury really. However, looking at the stats at XG and the total assists being the lowest in the league, some attacking flair and talent I think would be a really, really good option to bring in January. Anderson has been around Newcastle's first team now for a while, but struggling to get on the field and get that first team opportunity. And at 19 years old now, he wants to be playing that regular football. This season he's only played competitive games against Harrogate in the Football League Trophy. Didn't do great in that game. Didn't think badly, but didn't really impress of anything really exciting in that one. He needs to get that sort of first team football. Going down to League One I think would make sense. Shrewsbury looking at bringing in a sort of exciting winger. I think Elliot Anderson on loan will be a perfect signing for them. So I've gone with that. Elliot Anderson, a loan deal from Newcastle to Shrewsbury in January. Next, we've gone with Wycombe Wanderers, and I've gone with Jack Payne. He's an attacking midfielder. It looks to be a permanent signing from Swindon Town. We'll come on to that in just a second. But Wycombe are among the many clubs interested in Jack Payne. He's had a fantastic League Two season. I think this would be the perfect player that Wycombe need to bring in. I like the look of this one. This makes sense. It'd be a great addition to Ainsworth's side. I think it would really, really help that attacking and also, I guess, that attacking midfield freedom that Jack Payne sort of creates for himself. He's got a free transfer clause in January. So that makes it quite interesting and quite, you'd like to think, a simple deal to complete. In his contract, he can leave for a free transfer in January. That's a contract clause. So Wycombe can come in respectfully, really, and just take him in January. Not kidnap him. That's something very, very different. Just bring him to the club peacefully make him join and create him as a Wycombe player in January. If, of course, there's going to be many clubs interested in him, if Jack Payne is wanting to come to Wycombe. He's got 8 goals and assists in League Two already this season. He's already created 5 big chances. He's showing his creative edge to his game, but also scoring his prolific goal-scoring edge as well. He's got an average rating on SofaScore of 7.05. Wycombe, I've gone with Jack Payne from Swindon Town. Don't kidnap him. Just bring him to the club peacefully. Jack Payne, Wycombe Wanderers is the player I've gone with there. Wycombe isn't the club. Jack Payne's the club for Wycombe. So for Wigan, I've gone with Jeando Fuchs, Dundee United midfielder. There's been a lot of interest surrounding Fuchs at Dundee United, including Championship sides Blackpool and Peterborough. So Wigan will have to fight off some serious competitors for this player. But I feel like if they can get this deal done, they're doing well this season. Currently sat in third, I believe. They're doing, this would be the sort of signing I'd like to see them make. It'd be a really quite significant signing if they got it done, because like I said, they really have to battle off to get this signature. But the 24-year-old has already played 26 games this season. He's appeared on the SofaScore Team of the Week already. He's got 2.3 tackles per game. That's what he's averaging. And he's created 2 big chances in the Scottish Premiership. He's got a lot to learn. However, they believe that 24 years old, he's ready to make that step up now. I believe the Dundee United manager has already come out and said, I think it's time maybe that, there's no surprise that he's getting some serious interest from some top clubs. If Wigan can get this deal done, I think this would be a fantastic signing. For Morecambe, I've gone with Alex Gogic from Hibernian. Or Hibs, I like to call them. Morecambe are looking to bring in experience at central defence after losing Sam Lavelle to Charlton in the summer. They're looking at bringing in some defensive stability and bringing some more experience in the defensive third. However, this isn't really the player that does that. He sort of does, but he doesn't always. In January, they're really, really close to signing this defensive midfielder. He made 39 appearances last season, but hasn't been given that regular football that he desires this season. So I think this signing could be really, really good. Alex Gogic joining this Morecambe side at 27 years old. You're getting it at his prime age, can play in defensive midfield, but also defence as well, which would tick the box of bringing in some experience as well. He came through the Olympiacos Academy, then went to Swansea, and then went to Hibs, where, like I said, he did quite well last season, not getting as much football this season, almost like a squad player now. He wants to leave for permanent football. Morecambe would certainly offer him that. We know they're looking at a defender. Ticks a few boxes this signing. I'm going with Alex Gogic for Morecambe. For Cheltenham Town, then, I've gone with Rasik Aluma. It'd be from Chippenham Town. Now, there's a lot of teams in for this player, but if Cheltenham can get this deal done, this would be a fantastic player. Maybe not for now, but certainly the future. Fulham, Forest Green, and Bristol Rovers are all looking at this young talent in January. But like I said, if Cheltenham can get this deal done, this would be a fantastic sign. Like I said, he's unlikely to come straight into the side now, but in the future, it's a great player to own. Be a brilliant signing this season, of course. He's already showing his potential, but also what he can do now. Chippenham under 23s this season, he's already scored 10 goals in 13 appearances. That is a fantastic stat to have. It wouldn't be easier to get a signature with the likes of Fulham knocking about. Interestingly, an interesting fact about this player, Fulham sent a scout for a game that he played in against Corinthian last month, and he bagged a hat-trick. Fulham are going to be impressed by that, but I think and I hope for Cheltenham, if they can get this deal done, this would be a fantastic signing. So yeah, I've gone with Rasik Aluma as the Cheltenham player to sign in January. Next, and with Accrington Stanley, I've gone with a lone player from Aston Villa, and it will be Cameron Archer, who's a striker. With it looking likely that Dion Charles will be leaving in January, a lot of interest there. Bolton apparently looking at the players, one of the few clubs, even in the Championship, looking at Dion Charles, the 27-year-old. They need to be bringing in a striker to replace him. Now, he's not scoring a lot of goals, Dion Charles, this season, but certainly they need to bring in some reinforcements in January going forward. They're doing fairly well this season, but this player would, I think, take them to the next level. He's got 10 minutes of Premier League football under his belt at the age of 20. He's looking to get some regular first team football. I think this would be a really, really good signing. With Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins now coming back to full fitness in this Aston Villa side, that first team football at Aston Villa and at Villa Park is looking a little bit unlikely. So a loan move really would make sense. He's also scored 4 goals in 2 games in the Carabao Cup this season, including an impressive hat-trick against Barrow, which I believe was on BBC One. I remember watching that game. Some of his finishes were very, very good. He's also, as well, scored an all-important goal against the European champions Chelsea in the Carabao Cup as well, and a 1-1 draw there. I believe this would be a quality signing for Accrington Stanley, all jokes aside. I mean, I wasn't joking, but there are some great stats there. I believe this would be a fantastic signing for Accrington Stanley, a really, really good player to get. And I don't think it's out of their reach either, which really is quite exciting. So I'm going with Cameron Archer at Accrington Stanley. At AFC Wimbledon, then, I'm going with Willie Camboala. He's a loan signing from Manchester United. It would be a loan signing from Manchester United as a centre-back. Going forward this season, AFC Wimbledon have been prolific. They've done very, very well. However, they do need to defensively shore up a little bit. They're a little bit fragile, but they've showed their quality in developing some very, very exciting young talent and really shown the prolific edge going forward. Like I said, defensively a little bit fragile, and that'll be an area that Robinson will be looking at bringing in this winter window. Due to their growing track record of developing young talent, Premier League sides are becoming more interested and actually more intrigued to sending their young players out on loan there because of their fantastic track record at developing these players in and taking them to the next level. And ultimately, a 17-year-old Kambala is one of the most exciting young players to come out of the Manchester United Academy in a while, especially at centre-back. He's just recently signed a pro contract at Manchester United, his first professional contract. This signing makes sense. He has some great young depth to this side. I think Willie Campbell will be a really, really good signing. So yeah, I've gone with him as a loan player from Manchester United to join AFC Wimbledon. Next then we've gone with Charlton. I've gone with Tyrese Fornah. There's not many links to Charlton because, again, like I've already mentioned, of course, Johnny Jackson's just been appointed as the manager or permanent manager of Charlton. So, of course, the transfers have been a little bit quieter. Now, Johnny Jackson has come out and he said that he's looking to dip into the market in January. However, the actual individuals that have been mentioned are yet to actually been officially announced. So, I've had to do a little bit of digging here, and I've gone with Tyrese Fornah. He spent last season out on loan at Plymouth Argyle and then hoped to break back into the first team, but Steve Cooper, of course, joined in mid-season at Nottingham Forest. He's yet to make a championship appearance, and he's encouraging a loan move for the player. And I think this will be a good signing for Charlton because, again, he did well last season, and from what I'm reading about this player, he really could, his technical ability is quite an impressive one, and after a successful loan spell at the Pilgrims last year, he hoped to make more than just under 23 appearances. He recently signed a new contract at Forest, so there is that real sense that there is a real sense of prospect and hope for the future and faith, you'd like to think, for this 22-year-old. However, he wants to be getting first team minutes in the short term to continue the defensive, a substantial development that he, of course, made last season. So I like that sort of signing. I think this will be a really, really good one. Whether or not they can get it done, it looks quite a simple one to complete in the sense that Forest are quite keen on loaning this sort of player out. He has the technical ability to come into the side and add that composure, to add that ability to dictate the tempo and also keep possession. The perfect player that could come into this Charlton side. Maybe not the most, maybe not the priority. Maybe not. They're not looking at a midfielder as their number one. But if they are looking at a player to come in to just generally help the squad as well, this is a really, really good signing. Of course, Jake Forster-Caskey's been out injured for a while at Charlton now. So could they bring another midfielder as well? A good combination of attributes for a side. I think this would be a really, really good signing for Charlton. I've gone with Tyrese Fornah as the player that Charlton could bring in on loan from Nottingham Forest. So at MK Dons have highlighted Rayhan Toulouche as a potential January transfer. Be a loan signing from West Brom as a striker. But there really are early signs this could be quite a busy window for MK Dons, with a lot of their players drawing attention from some top championship sides. Harry Darling, the centre-back, is already being looked at by Swansea City. And Scott Twine, who joined from a free transfer from Swindon in the summer, who's been phenomenal this season, is already drawing some serious attention. So trying to keep hold of some players in January really could be their priority. But I still think bringing in some players, if they do lose those players, will need to be looked at really, really carefully and getting in the right players as well, because this season they've looked quite, I'd say, very, very well. I think this season also, this window could be quite pivotal in deciding whether or not this season could be a successful one and could they nail down a top 6 place. If Troy Parrott goes back to his parent club Spurs, a striker really could be on the wish list. Now, Rayhan Toulouche, the player I've highlighted, was injured at his loan spell at Doncaster last year after 2 games and then went back to West Brom. He's made 4 appearances for West Brom but needs regular minutes for, of course, that development to continue. However, the English youth international is believed to have a very, very exciting future ahead of him. I think this could be a really, really interesting move. MK Dons have looked at Rayhan Toulouche quite recently. If they go in for him, I believe it was the summer they looked at and they went with Troy Parrott. If Troy Parrott leaves, I think this could be a really good player to bring in. So I've gone with Rayhan Toulouche as the potential player to come in at MK Dons in January. And finally then, at Cambridge United, this isn't the most glamorous, exciting signing, but it's certainly one that makes sense. It's Conor Masterson extending his loan stay from QPR. Like I said, it's not the most exciting signing, but I think it really would benefit the club for the second half of the season, especially when you look at some of the stats he's already proven this season. Well, 15 games in League One he's started with an average rating of 6.8, which is very, very good. He's won 70 ground duels this season. He's got a total of 66 total duels won as well, across all defensive or just general departments. He's also averaging 4.6 key clearances per game. It's known that Marston is keen to extend his loan stay at the club, and he's enjoying life at Cambridge United. So pretty easy, I think, to get this deal done. Like I said, it's not the most exciting one. I apologise, Cambridge fans, but it's one I could find I think would make real sense for the club. This has been one player that every League One club needs to sign in this January transfer window. It took a while, as you can imagine, so hopefully, please do show your support by hitting that subscribe button and leaving a like as well. So much content like this coming your way soon. But if you want to see more of it, let me know in the comments down below. Like I've already mentioned, tell me your thoughts on these transfers, but also as well your best player so far this season at your club. I want to hear from you. That'd be really helpful in a future video I'm looking to make. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Stay safe, and I'll see you all very soon. See you in a bit.